Having said that, mere mortal politicians who don't have Teflon on this issue, as President Trump proved that he had during the campaign, are trying to separate themselves big time from him. Just one example is Congressman Stivers. Listen to what he said this morning.
Well, I've subsequently asked for my money back. That was before these allegations came forward. I do believe these women, and I think that Roy Moore should step aside. It's up to him at this point. I don't think anybody can manipulate anybody into doing anything, but I hope he'll step aside.
So he donated to the Moore campaign, asking for his money back. That's kind of an easy political move to show your disapproval and disgust.
Yeah, it's what you do, and to take your money back. I think that the buildup against Roy Moore is pretty devastating. I think that the Post story, is it today, where the woman says he called her out of her trigonometry class in high school, will probably be the most memorable part of this story, where she responded when he asked, what are you doing? And she said, I'm in trig class. I mean, that's pretty devastating. To get back to the White House a little bit, it's tough for them to say that we believe the Alabama women when their stance is on Trump, that all the women who accused him are liars. And that's a tough distinction to make. And I also noticed in Ivanka Trump's statement, she referred specifically to children, and that making clear that delineation. So I think Roy Moore, people in Washington want nothing to do with him for the most part, and are going to stick to that.
Hold that thought, because there's one thing that I have to bring up before we leave this topic, and that is Sean Hannity. Yesterday, or 2 nights ago, he made a big deal out of saying, Roy Moore, you have 24 hours. You have to better explain yourself. Roy Moore wrote a letter to Sean Hannity, an open letter to Sean Hannity, again denying the allegations. And here's what Sean Hannity said last night.
I lived in Alabama. I enjoyed my time in Alabama. And I know these people. They're smart. They're great Americans. God, family, faith, country. And I am very confident that when everything comes out, they will make the best decision for their state. Shouldn't be decided by me, by people on television, by Mitch McConnell, Washington, talk show hosts, news people.
The technical term for that, I think, is a punt. And normally, what a rival news channel says is not really relevant. But in this environment, in this administration, for this particular host, Sean Hannity, who is very close with President Trump, they talk often. He's probably one of his closest advisors, at least we're told. The fact that Hannity came out and suggested that Roy Moore had 24 hours was an indication that he was maybe providing cover for the president, and then he pulled back. I think that's really noteworthy.
Yeah, and it's probably reflective of the president's own sort of up and down views of this. I want to go back to something you said about Trump's Teflon qualities. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think we think of it now as being, well, we didn't think that he was ahead, and so his win was a surprise, so maybe these allegations didn't hurt him. I'm not so sure that's the case. And here's the fact of the matter is there's now probably about the same amount of time between Roy Moore, between the allegations coming about Moore and that Access Hollywood tape. It will be interesting to see. It's been a steady now drumbeat, not just one story coming out. And Roy Moore is no Donald Trump. I think there is an indicates what Hannity said, what the White House is saying now, is they really are hoping that Alabama, they don't have to say what they want Alabama voters to do, which is to just get rid of this guy. And I think that's still a very big possibility.
And they might not. And I'll just say as we go to break that I was in the Philadelphia suburbs right after Access Hollywood came out, and every woman I talked to said they didn't care about it. So that was where my Teflon reference came out. But you know what? It was a different climate. All right, everybody stick with us. We have a big vote in the House on taxes in the next hour. Stay with us.